So we're looking at the setting sun. We'll just adjust the aperture here a little. Yeah, the lens was wide open. I just stopped it down to f11. It's down near the bottom of the frame, a bit too much, so we will reframe. Come on. Okay, that's better. So, just getting a bit more footage of the setting sun. Still quite high above the horizon. It's more than hand span, well, I should say more than 4 fingers. The width of a hand above the horizon. About a hand span with the fingers splayed apart. And f11, 30th of a second, 400 ISO. I don't know why it's up at 400 ISO. I wouldn't have set it that high if I was shooting manually, but I put it in auto exposure, so the exposure adjusts without me having to do too much to shake the camera. Every time I adjust the shutter speed, or the aperture for that matter, shakes the image. So on the whole, auto exposure is better. Okay, I'm going to reframe again. Come down a bit. See how that works out. What's the white balance? Okay, we're going to bring it up to there. I just boosted the color temperature up to 10,000 Kelvin to make things a bit more orange. And yeah, now the sun's totally obscured by cloud, which is one of the reasons I was acting quickly here. Okay, this clip's gonna end. Hang on. What's going on? It's almost as if it's, yeah, it seems to be, it's there. I'm not pointing in the right place. And that's, okay. Alright, the sun is there, I believe, behind that section, and a lot of cloud. Let's just move a bit more to the right here. So yeah, again, I'm not sure I'm in the right spot. Looks like the sun may be further left, so let's try over here. You know, with the angle of view here is less than a degree, so it can be, see, there it is. Yeah, so we got a little mixed up there when we reframed. Okay, that's better. So we'll let the sun move down. It's going to get obscured again, and yeah, okay. I'm just debating whether I should keep this running. I think we're going to end this clip. It's going to be a little while before the cloud moves across, I think. Let's try to figure, no, maybe not. Maybe we'll just keep this running. So we're at 1200 millimeters. So it's a very narrow angle of view. You can just see the sun there. Yeah, we can see the sun through the cloud, and as the cloud moves away, it'll become more visible. Right. 60 to the second f11, ISO 160. So yeah, it is quite cloudy, and it looks like there's a very solid bank of cloud about 4 fingers high below the sun at the moment. so that it'll sink into that. We can see it there vaguely through the clouds. I will reframe. And I will lower a bit. So that bank of clouds, however, is moving from left to right, and there's clearer sky to the left. There's still a bank of clouds, but it's not as high. And then further to the left, it gets better. So we're just going to track the sun down if we can. As I said, it's still fairly high above the horizon, still a full width of a hand, more than the width of a hand above the horizon if I hold my hand out at arm's length. Don't see too much here, but should become visible again fairly soon. I'm just going to keep this running. Don't want to adjust too much, but I don't have a tracking mount, so the sun moves through the frame, and it moves pretty quickly because of the very narrow angle of view. Sort of vaguely see something there through the cloud. It's very interesting how, yeah, there's, okay, no, that's just cloud, I guess. Okay, we'll see what happens now. Okay, getting quite bright there. On the left, what's going to happen in terms of where the sun will be? I expect it to become visible. Yeah. Maybe not. I'm gonna let this run anyway. Personally, I'm just messing about a bit, so we'll let this dramatic cloud play out until the sun becomes visible again. And again. Maybe a while. Be some minutes, judging from what I'm seeing here. I see absolutely blue, clear sky, about 3 fingers to the left of the sun. So I'm just going to let this run. I'm going to let this run. We'll see where the sun is when it finally becomes visible again. I think I will track a bit to the right and down. Well, maybe not. I think I'll track up, actually. The sun will be out of the picture, really, but we'll at least see the cloud. It's more interesting than black sky. Again, what I'm seeing is medium gray to dark gray, even light gray clouds, even sort of white, depending where the sun is. The orangish color is due to the fact that I set the color temperature to 10,000 K, which is as high as it'll go, basically warming things up quite a bit. Let's turn it down. We're gonna put the ISO so there. This is daylight. This is standard daylight color balance. A seagull went through. I don't know if it went through the frame or not, but a seagull flew through the general area where I was pointing, but it may not have passed through that very narrow angle view. But this is close to what I'm actually seeing in terms of color. By the way, I'm using a neutral density filter. Looks like it's at about neutral density 16. I could actually, here I'm going to adjust that to ND4 there. So it probably shook a bit, but I'm at ND4. That'll bring the shutter speed up a bit and the ISO down a bit. So currently ND4. I could even take it right off now that I think about it. Yeah, let's take it right off and see what happens. So the ISO went all the way down to 125 and shutter speed went to 125th. So yeah, I think for now, since the sun is not visible at all, we're just going to run with the ND filter off. And maybe it'll be that little bit sharper. I'm going to set the ND filter to, because it's variable, I should mention it's a ND2 to ND32. Black diffusion 1 to 4 and variable ND 2 to 32. So I guess it's got a bit of diffusion to it as well. It's a K&F concept. No, that's the, okay, no, that, yeah, K&F concept Nano X series MRC 82mm filter diameter filter. So apparently it might have a bit of diffusion to this. I didn't know that when I bought it. I just thought it was an ordinary variable neutral density filter, but it may have a bit of diffusion effect, but I'm going to have to look into that. I didn't really notice it that much when I was using it earlier in terms of the diffusion, but that's something I need to. It looks like quite a nice, well-made filter. I don't know a lot about K&F concept. I do know that they made pretty good adapters, you know, from various lens mounts to various mirrorless camera lens mounts. You know, putting a old Nikon lens, let's say, on Sony mirrorless, that kind of thing. Okay, so that blue sky I was talking about is coming along. There's still a bank of cloud below it. Okay, I'm noticing that it's definitely getting somewhat lighter. I'm sure the sun is further down and to the right from where I'm pointing at the moment, because I've let it run for quite a while, and I think I even raised above the level of the sun to get away from the thick cloud. But you know, again, it's a good B-roll of cloud here anyway. Currently at 500ths of a second, it's 160 ISO. I don't know why it doesn't go all the way down to base ISO 100 in aperture preferred automatic mode, because it could easily do that. Could easily be okay, now it's 250th at 125th of a 120 ISO 125, 250th of a second. That's just a third of a stop above the base ISO. I can live with that. But you have the best dynamic range at the base ISO of 100, so I try as much as possible to shoot at 100 or close to it. It's not always possible. Went back up to 160 ISO, 500 of a second. Again, it could easily be 100 ISO and 320 of a second for the same exposure at f11. The moon is almost full, and I actually came out mainly in terms of getting some moonrise photos, but I think they're down the road a bit. It's 6:48, and moonrise, I'll find out exactly when the moonrise is. Moonrise. According to this, moonrise is at 7:48, so an hour from now, at 119 degrees southeast. And then it sets at 4 a.m. in the morning, tomorrow. Oh no, that's today. Yeah, I keep getting mixed up. So it'll actually set a bit later tomorrow morning. It was cloudy anyway overnight, so I wouldn't have seen anything. So yeah, might get up a bit early tomorrow and see if the sky is clear enough to see the moon set. So we're still looking at cloud, no sign of the sun through it. But as I said, the cloud is moving slowly but surely from left to right. That is south to north. It'll soon. Excuse me. Okay, I see what I'm looking at now. So it'll be a while, but it'll eventually get to the blue sky. However, I think, judging from what I'm seeing here, that it's going to be a while actually before the sun becomes visible. Oh no, there it is. I see it. I believe. Let's see. Well, I'm not sure now. I thought I saw a bit of a disc through the cloud, but I'm not totally sure of that. And when I say that, I mean with the naked eye. I don't mean looking through the lens. I was just looking at the actual sky. As I said, I'm quite sure the sun would not even be in the frame right now because I moved away from the area where the sun was in very, very thick cloud to at least get something half decent of interest to video. I think I'm just gonna shut this down now because it's been a while before the sun disappeared. It's not likely to be visible again in the next 5 to 10 minutes or more. Might even be 15 or 20 before it's visible again. So I think we're done. I'll just give the full technical details before shutting down. So it's a 400mm f5.6 maximum opening Nikkor lens, EDIF lens, manual focus lens from the late 1970s, early 1980s. It has a 3x Teleplus Pro 300 teleconverter by Kenko between the lens and the camera, bringing it up to 1200mm and adding 3 stops to the maximum aperture, or whatever the actual aperture is. So I'm set to f11 on the lens, but in real terms we're at f32-ish. Just making a slight adjustment to it. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much it. The 800 camera, Nikon D800 camera, DSLR, a bit of an antique these days in terms of DSLRs, at least in terms of full frame ones. One of the earliest in terms of Nikon. So yeah, we're done.